I get this question asked a lot. One, because of living in London, everyone routinely walks outdoors. And secondly, every time a patient comes in with ankle, knee, hip, and sometimes even back pain, they have this question. And the question is, what is the best shoe to wear? So today, I'm going to share with you what advice I give to my patients in my clinic in London. My name is Kuratulain and welcome to our channel, Physique. On this channel, we help you achieve your health goals and help students achieve their career goals. The first thing to acknowledge is that every foot is unique, and so quite literally there's no one size fits all situation over here. So instead of giving you one brand and model of a good shoe, I want you to be able to identify all the components that make up a good shoe so you can find something within your budget and your preferred style. So to start with, I want you to think of your shoes as packaging for your feet. If the packaging is too tight or too loose or just not strong enough, it is going to have an impact on the contents inside. And that brings us to the first most important thing, which is choosing the right size. This sounds a bit silly to be telling, but often at times people are wearing the wrong fit or the wrong size of the shoe. If your feet tend to swell up later in the day, I would recommend going shoe shopping in the evenings because you want a shoe that's gonna fit you day and night. While a new shoe can be a slightly more better, tight, snug fit, but at the same time, getting your feet into a new shoe should not be an invasion mission. And the right size is a shoe in which you can wriggle your toes in and the back of the shoe doesn't keep slipping off as you walk. Our footwear influences the stresses and the ground reaction forces that come up to our muscles and the joints in our legs, so having the wrong size of the shoe can drastically increase these stressors. Now that you have the right size of the shoe, let's have a look at the shape of the shoe. The shoe should be snug around your foot. However, the toe box should not be tight enough that your toes are cramped inside the shoe. So avoid getting shoes that have very pointed fronts because you will not have room to wriggle your toes and it is going to affect the flexible bones inside your shoe and cause aches and pains and also increase your chances of getting bunions and hammertoes. While you're avoiding something too tight, at the same time, you don't want something that's too loose because it just won't be providing the support that your foot needs. Now that we've established what a good size and a shoe shape is, let's get to the fun part and start dissecting the shoe structure and build it bottom up. Starting with the base, the first thing that you will be checking is the sole of the shoe. The sole of the shoe should not be rigid like wood or very stiff plastic. It should ideally be a lightweight rubber with a heel which is about 2.5 to 3 centimeters and that tapers off towards the front of the shoe. Now the thing with rubber is that it is flexible by nature and that is something that we are trying to look for in the shoe. However, the shoe should not bend in the middle. Rather, it should bend more towards the interior third of the shoe because this is where your toes are going to bend in order for you to be able to walk, and that is where you want your shoe to bend as well. And if you have flat feet, you want to look for a sole which has an inbuilt medial arch because if the shoe sole is flat from the inside, you might eventually end up putting insoles in your shoes, which can make the shoe quite tight and uncomfortable and not the shape that you originally bought. Now that we've chosen a good sole of the shoe, let's move on to the top, and the first thing to consider on top is the material of the shoe. For everyday footwear, natural and breathable materials are always a better choice because they're going to allow airflow into the shoe and that will prevent a lot of sweating and dampening inside the shoe. Irritation and sweating inside the shoe is not only uncomfortable and painful, but also it can make your foot more prone to fungal growths and bad odor. Once you've reviewed what the material of the shoe is, you can now move on to the construction of the shoe. The first thing to check in the construction of the shoe is that avoid anything that has a lot of parts, seams, and rigid joined together because these are the points that can become uncomfortable on your feet. And secondly, the heel counter and collar of the shoe should be cushioned inside and not be very pliable because this is the part of the shoe that is going to provide support to your ankle. By now, I think we have covered everything from the sole, the materials, and the construction of the shoe. The last thing would be anything on top of the shoe like fastenings. I personally prefer shoes with fastenings over slip-ons. Anything with laces, velcro, buckle, it will securely hold your feet better and prevent the shoe from slipping off. And fastenings also make the width of the shoe a bit more adjustable for you. These would be my 6 top tips to check in an everyday shoe before buying it. Having said that, whenever you're getting a shoe, whenever you're wearing a shoe, make sure that you're also wearing very good fitted socks inside. And remember, ultimately, the best shoe is the one that is comfortable on your feet. And the best time to replace your shoe is when the ridges on the sole of your shoe have flattened out, or a part of the sole of the shoe looks very worn out compared to the rest of the sole. For me, there is one shoe that ticks all these boxes, and it's the one shoe that I keep returning to. And I think I'm on the 3rd pair from this series, and it is the Nike Pegasus. It's the best shoe for me, and it's so comfortable for me. And I've walked like literally hours and hours on flat surfaces and mountains, on the beach. It's just perfect. I hope that if you follow this criteria and try out shoes for yourself, you will be able to find your Nike Pegasus and walk for hours or do whatever you want to without any foot, knee, ankle, back issues. This criteria is not applicable to any sports-specific shoes, shoes for people with special needs, barefooted shoes, or non-athletic shoes. Let me know in the comment what your favorite shoe is, and I would love to check it out. And until then, happy shoe shopping.